This is Ender's Game, Chapter 11 and 12, Study Guide Questions. Chapter 11 is entitled Veni Vidi Vici, and this is something we went over when we went over Julius Caesar. I came, I saw, I conquered, which is an excellent title for this chapter, and we'll see why. How long does Ender train his army before its first battle? He only gets 3.5 weeks, which was absolutely unheard of. Who is Ender's army's first enemy in battle, and the second? He fights the rabbit army and then the phoenix. Maybe you want to see some symbolism here, perhaps, in the idea that the rabbit army is smaller and weaker or something like that. But the rabbit army actually is not that bad, as he notices, or as he notes in the chapter, Ender notes, that they're about, midway in the standing. They're not totally a terrible army. The Phoenix army is now Petra is in command of the army, so this is him fighting his friend, which poses certainly more of a challenge. And this is only with a 3.5 week training period that he's had where he just got this army. They do not know him at all when he's given them, if you remember from chapter 10. And when he's given the army, he has no time to train very much at all of these little tiny people. They are not veterans. They are little, just been there very little amount of time, and very inexperienced, very small. So right off the bat, he's given a challenge. How many battles does Ender's army face or fight in 7 days? He fights 7 battles in 7 days. They keep progressively getting more and more and more and more, just hit him again and again and again and again. And they've done this to Ender the entire time that he's been at battle school, throwing him into situations that he was not ready for, or people have been unfair to him or treated him badly. And every single time he's given it, he overcomes. He wins every single one of these fights in 7 days. He fights 7 battles. He wins every single one of them. The standings are perfect. What does Ender watch in the video room? He watches old footage of the Bugger Wars. They are propaganda videos. There's not really a lot of good footage from this that is not propaganda. That's all the videos that are there. But he's studying it to study what are the Buggers movements. You can see how he's progressing. He's everything they've given him. He's just like that. I've got it. I've got it every single time. Anything you throw at me. All right, give me another one. Give me a different challenge because I got that one. I got that one down. And now he's going to go watch the videos. How does the Bugger army operate? How do they move? How do they function? Why doesn't Ender play the fantasy game anymore? He says it's because he's won. He says, and they tell him there is no winning that game. It's just a fantasy game. You just wander around and do whatever. And he says, he thinks back and he's like, no, I beat the giant. I crawled in his eyeball. I went to the fairyland. The children there, I beat them. I drowned them all in the river and beat all of them. You took me to the end of the world. The snake came out, and I saw my brother's face in the mirror, and I beat it. It turned into Valentine, and we walked out of the end of the world. Why would I play it anymore? Because I've won it, and it's that idea that anything you give me, anything that's impossible, any impossible scenario, I'm going to think of a way out of it. Think of a way to beat it. What does Ender ask Bean to command? He gives him a special he asks him to handpick his unit. You pick your people. Train. Think of new tactics. Think of the impossible. Think of things that we would not normally be faced with. So giving Bean not only is a command, but a special assignment on top of that, showing how much he trusts Bean, how good of a strategic fighter Bean is, and good at coming up with ways to beat the enemy. who warns Ender not to be alone in this chapter? Dink sends him a note, says, "Do not be alone at any time." Petra actually stops him in the hallway and tells him that some boys are planning to kill him and to watch out. What is the new rule in the game when Dragon battles Badger? Even to make it even more unfair than it already is, the Badger army thaws out in about 5 minutes after they're frozen. The Dragon army does not. So they're fighting people that, while their own people are staying frozen when they're hit with the light, the other army, oh well, they're frozen for 5 minutes and then they're going to thaw back out. So even more challenging. What happens in the fight with Bonzo? Bonzo finds him in the shower alone, and he brings a whole bunch of his buddies to, kill him, beat the crap out of him, kill him. And Ender knows how proud he is and how honorable he is with his the way he thinks about things. So he talks him into fighting alone. He talks him into fighting on the same level with Ender. He knows that Bonzo is bigger than him. He's stronger. But he matches him. And he wins the fight. He kicks him. He turns on the steam in the room to distract. And he kicks him, punches him, throws kicks him in the groin and tosses him across the room. I mean, he fights with a purpose, and it's very similar to the fight with Stilson at the very beginning of it, in that I'm going to hit you once, and that's not it. I'm going to make it where you never ever hurt me again. In the battle with two armies, what surprise maneuver does Ender order? He uses a formation. He's based his entire strategy on the fact that he's been new and he's been inventive, and he showed how slow and out of date and uncreative and whatever you want to say these other armies are. He showed them all up every single time, everything they've done, and it's been done with new strategies, new techniques. Then in this final battle, he has two armies, and instead of doing a whole new fancy technique, he falls back on the old one, the old formation, the old standby, and he tells them to stay together, and then he goes for the door. Instead of worrying about how many men are frozen and how many people he has lost in the battle, he doesn't worry about any of that. He just goes and storms the door, and before the other army even knows what happened to them, he's won the game, because all you need is really the four people on the door to win the game. That's all you need, and the person to pass through. You do not need to freeze the entire other army, and that was not thought of before either. To what school has Ender been assigned? To command school. And they ask him, well, you're not going to pre-command school or any of these other things? And he says, no, they're just going to put me straight on through to command school. So keep on promoting him up, getting him ready to fight that bugger army.